Oh my goodness. COD is really just going all out to be the most complete brain rot, adrenaline junkie zoomer media of all time. This may very well be the worst map in the history of Call of Duty, perhaps even in FPS history. I don't know if anyone could name a worse one, but we had Piccadilly and Santa Senia all within the same decade, which is marvelous on its own. And this may be the most brain rot map we've ever gotten to date. Pair it with the Omni movement, and it's just going to be an absolute clusterfest. And this map is called Bullet, and it is set on a super skinny bullet train. This was my prediction a few weeks ago, what it was going to look like based on the description and the images. Now, this is already pretty bad. It's wicked confined, super small, but what if I told you that it could get worse than this? Brace yourself. This is the layout for the map Bullet in Season 2 Reloaded. Oh boy. Oh. Yikes. It is far skinnier and much longer than I predicted. Wait, pause. But if we flip mine upside down, I actually nailed some layouts of some of the cabs. And you thought my rendition was bad? Holy moly. This just goes to show their design philosophy for this game. It is not about quality. Even if you wanted some classic Call of Duty gameplay, playing the objective or maybe going for kill streaks, trying to get better at the game even, you just can't. Every single map is designed for a 1KD experience. Everyone plays the same regardless of how you play. They're far too cramped, they're far too unpredictable to drop any significant kill streaks, the spawns are absolutely awful, and the second you get any better, the predatory matchmaking instantly works overtime to screw you over. The fact that every single map in this game is absolutely tiny and the movement is faster and more chaotic than it's ever been in a boots on the ground COD just shows their motive. To them, it's all about farming dopamine. Black Ops 6 is the TikTok equivalent of gaming, and there's no debate about that. This is exactly what they were going for. You thought these maps were because of incompetence from the devs? No, 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 no. These maps are like this on purpose, obviously. It's constantly stimulating every map so insanely fast that there's basically no room for strategy. And even if you try to strategize and predict where people are going to be, the spawn algorithm and pace of the maps are just so chaotic and unpredictable and random that anyone trying to think too much is at a massive disadvantage compared to those who just run around without thinking and shoot anything that moves. It is sad how far we have fallen from the great games that we used to get from Call of Duty. And the worst part is we have content creators who don't speak up about this because they're making money off the game. Instead of speaking their mind, they just give us updates about the maps and don't really care what kind of content they have to play. I really don't know how you could live like that. If I had to play this game every day to make a living, I would be miserable because this game is terrible. The choices they've made about map design alone, let's forget about the matchmaking and the monetization for a second. Just the map design by itself has been so questionable and so against what makes COD maps so iconic and well done that it's appalling that more people haven't spoken up about them, especially bigger names within the scene. They are genuinely releasing brain rot slop, extremely low quality content and expecting $70 for it. I mean, these maps, some of them are just so terrible. They're awful. I'm looking at Warhead, Vorkuta, Subsonic, Payback. These maps are terrible. I think it's funny how even though there's map voting, even if you vote classified because the first two maps are bad, I don't know what you expect. I feel like when we vote classified, we're pretending as if Firing Range or Raid or Hijacked are just gonna magically pop up. It's hilarious. The bar is set so low and they still can't seem to reach above it every single year. Instead of complaining, people are just happy letting Activision shaft them every single game, every single update, and force them to play this absolutely atrocious content that is a lame excuse for a AAA game. I could give an 8-year-old 2 days in Fortnite creative mode and they could produce a better map than any of the original Black Ops 6 maps. They are genuinely so terrible. We have a map that is literally one skinny lane, if you could even call that a lane, and it is literally going to be pure, unpredictable, nonstop chaos with absolutely no strategy. I'd be hard-pressed to believe that there is data or analytics that even show that maps like this actually work. This game has lost a significant portion of its player base. I don't know what they're thinking not adding a map that is even remotely good. And I know grind is coming back, but let's be real here. They should have released it when the season dropped and not stalled it until midway through the season. They're just hoping to pull some players back by nostalgia baiting. I have a feeling it's not going to work. Grind is a great map, but I'm not really feeling the hype, especially because I know half this brain-rotted player base is going to vote against it every single time for either Nuketown, Vorkuta, or Subsonic, or some other stupid map that they can just run around and get kills on. In fact, I've been going back and playing these awesome OG Call of Duty maps. I've been playing Black Ops 2 on my computer. I've been playing MW3 on my Xbox. And even the new MW3 is a lot better because for some reason it seems like the matchmaking is just gone. The game is not that competitive at all, and it's been actually fun to hop on and play those original maps with not overtuned movement and just go on some kill streaks, play some objectives, and just have a decent time. And it made me realize that if the matchmaking wasn't so terrible in Modern Warfare 3 2023, we might have actually gotten an enjoyable game. But unfortunately, the matchmaking was so overtuned, and all of the original maps that they made for that game were so awful and so tiny. For example, the map Bait is absolutely terrible, and that's still in the rotation regularly. The map Grease is also pretty awful. The map Meat is a pain to play on. It's just all of these small maps, right? They wanted to make these tiny maps way earlier than just Black Ops 6, and they were testing the waters to see if they could do it. If you go back to Modern Warfare 3 2023 and you play the game in the quick play, the map rotation is mostly just tiny maps, unless you played the OG Mosh Pit or 10v10 or something like that. And even 10v10 gets sometimes put on tiny maps, and then that just becomes an absolute nightmare. Again, even with that old game, I haven't seen a single original map in the last 6 years that's actually been good besides Shoot House. And Shoot House is one of my favorite maps of all time. So you know what? Maybe they have made something good in the last 6 years, but that is about it. The only reason the maps in MW3 are good is because they're all from the original Modern Warfare 2. Big surprise. But even if Black Ops 6 didn't have terrible matchmaking and overdone movement, the maps alone would have scared me away from it. But the fact that there hasn't been a single map that's actually good in this game besides Nuketown, and it's disappointing to say, but even Nuketown is severely disappointing just because of how aggravating the outrageously competitive matchmaking algorithm is. There isn't a single original map in this game that is good. If I were to name the top 10 worst maps in Call of Duty history, literally all of them would be in Modern Warfare 2019 onward. And I already know Bullet is reaching near the top of that list. I don't know which fans of COD are still playing and enjoying these new Black Ops 6 maps, but they sure are not the same players that appreciated the classic 3-lane, well-designed maps of yesteryear, that's for sure. I just had to call attention to how much of a joke this new map is, and what this might imply for future seasons. I mean, we've actually gotten to this point. We have actually somehow managed to get worse than Santa Sena border crossing, and people are still buying microtransactions. People are still buying the game. This hallway map meme has actually become a thing. The only thing that could possibly be worse than Bullet is either a small empty square or a straight hallway with no cover. That's it. Bullet is the closest you can get without making an entirely blank space. Is actually unfathomable how far we've come with the map design alone. And we can talk about the matchmaking some other time, or maybe the fact that the game is literally rigged and they've admitted it if you want to watch that one. But I don't know how much longer the fans or Activision can pretend that there isn't some giant elephant in the room, that Black Ops 6 sucks, and that all the content they're releasing is absolutely terrible, and that this game is clearly not meant to be quality. It's meant to be brain rot. It's not meant to be fun. It's meant to be addictive. I'm Prime Pete. Stay safe out there. Just do your research and play actually good games and take it easy.